Welcome to special edition of the OG. This is episode 13, probably 13.1. We'll probably have a second half episode at some point, probably when this one comes out. But anyways, we've got our commish MHC. And we've got Mr. Gom, of course. MHC has been working on the draft. What pick are we on right now, MHC?
We are on pick 23 at the moment.
Oh God,
we've come to a bit of a halt this morning. So
that's still further than I thought we were. I thought we were on like 18 or 19.
No, we're on pick 23. So we are currently at Brandon, who is I don't know where he is this morning. So
I'm on Brandon. All right. Yeah. Well, we thought this would be fun because as of right now, Gom and I only know our own picks. We don't know anybody else's picks. So we're going to do a little sneak peek, preview, reaction. Let's see what everybody's got so far. So, we want to start at the top, MHC? Is that what we want to do?
Why don't we do this? I'll read the first three teams out, and then you each can give me your picks for who you think the top three were.
You're going to give us the three teams that went 1, 2, 3?
No. I'll give you the three coaches, and then you tell me what teams you think were in those selections. Okay. We'll do it a few at a time.
Okay.
We'll go from there. Okay. All right. So let's start here. We got Johnny, Jake, and Skittles. So who do you guys think Johnny took number one? Let's start with you, Gom. Let's go first. What do you got?
Yeah, so obviously Jerm and I have a general sense of what teams are taken. Jerm obviously knows the 11 teams taken before him. I know the 14 teams taken before me since I was a 15th pick, which I'm assuming everybody gave a nice cheer in voice chat when me and
I was happy to see it.
When me and MAC were 14 to 15.
I mistakenly said that Jerm fell to 12 as he pointed out in chat. No, it's the highest.
Yeah. He said I failed at 12. It's the highest I've ever had.
So
I was rejoicing at 12.
All right. So of the teams, so we're looking at who Johnny took at number one, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously the Chargers are the seem to be the go-to in the top spot, but I'm going to say he took the Browns.
Yeah. What about you, Jerm? What do you got here?
See, he's a Steelers fan, but he picked the Steelers in the other league, so I don't think he would pick them here. However, I did notice the Steelers were gone, so somebody took them. Yeah. By the time I picked, I think. But I don't think he would have picked them twice. I think he would go Chargers or Bills, so I'm going to go Chargers.
All right, so yeah, Johnny number one took the Chargers. So
it was the Chargers.
The Chargers were the number one overall selection in the draft this year. Okay, so go number two. So we got Jake, who jumped up with a significant climb in the lottery. I don't think he anticipated picking anywhere near the top third of the draft, and he was up there at number two.
I think he was 26 in the mock.
I know.
He definitely climbed at the lottery significantly. So who do you think Jake selected? Jerm, let's start with you this time.
See, I don't I have no idea who Jake likes, but last year he always had the issue with quarterback, which is why I think for whatever reason he's going to take Bills or Bengals. I think he goes Bengals.
Okay. Gom, what do you got here for Jake?
Well, I know Jake's definitely going to want offense because
he hated his quarterback situation last year.
He just couldn't stand it, right? And but I think Jake went the Chiefs. I just really think that he wanted to have Mahomes, and even without Tyreek, I could totally see Jake doing that.
All right, so he did go the quarterback route. He did take maybe the best quarterback on the board, potentially, and he did take the Buffalo Bills.
I knew it would be quarterback.
Jerm just like lining up the picks here.
I missed that when I said Bengals.
Well, that's true. You guys are in the same idea of what he was probably thinking, because you did say offense, quarterback, and you just named two elite quarterbacks plus Josh Allen, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, number three, Skittles.
This got to be Eagles. It has to be Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was the Eagles, so the Eagles are number three, so not much
It's so funny all the Eagles were right there.
Yeah.
Like the Eagles fans were 3, 4, and 6.
And almost every Eagle fan except one asked about them, saying, "Oh my God, someone took the Eagles." So they all had the idea of taking the Eagles, and Skittles. He didn't even hesitate. He just literally wrote Eagles in like caps lock, and that was the end of it. So
Yeah,
he did
that's
not
it.
hesitate at all on what the
Eagles.
choice was. So yeah.
Where-
Okay, so we've got McGee next. So McGee is at number 4.
This one, I've really got no idea.
Where do you think McGee goes on the board? Again, he has not all the choice in the world with what he's going to take. I'm curious to know where you guys think here. Gone, what do you think for McGee?
That's it's a tough one. But I mean, well, again, like I still feel like the Browns are probably like
That's who
one
I
of the
think
best teams, and I got to figure that them being like the most dominant team left, he would do it.
Browns?
I think, yeah, that's what I'd say too.
Okay, so he did share with me his 3 teams that he was looking at taking, and the Browns were not one of them.
Wow. There you go.
There you go. Nobody could have anticipated what he was thinking.
I had no idea. He was the one I was just like, that's whenever I stopped even trying.
So he did go for the quarterback. The big
Chiefs.
quarterback.
So he did the Chiefs. He
Took
did
the Chiefs. McGee
Yeah.
took the Chiefs. So if you're following at home, that means that we've got Johnny and McGee in the AFC West so far, already in the first 4 picks. So
Yeah,
we
they'll
go.
be able to see it on my screen here.
Koopa. Where do you think Koopa
Running
goes
back.
here, Jerm? Running back. So where do you think he would go if he had the option?
Let me see here. I need to mark the Chiefs and Packers.
You're like running back. There wasn't even a question of where you.
It has to be a running back.
I mean,
maybe the Steelers for Najee? Maybe he's the one that took the Steelers.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep guessing this until somebody picks them, but it's got to be the Browns because Chubb is Chubb. Like it's the perfect team for Koopa.
This seemed like when the writing was on the board for me, I just saw that this was lining up. It was definitely the Browns. Like just I could just see with Nick. Chubb
I was
lining
thinking
up,
Browns
it was
win.
gonna
Yeah.
yeah. So the Browns fell to 5, and so they are in that 5th position right now.
Okay.
Okay, 6 Maloney. So we've got somebody who we weren't really sure what he was going to do. Where do we go with Maloney, Germ? We're going to take Maloney here on the board.
49ers.
What's his thinking? Where is he thinking?
Not the 49ers, I'll tell you that. Let's see. I don't know with Maloney.
Bengals.
Bengals.
Okay. He's
Just
got
looking,
Bengals.
I'm going right down the list of who the best teams are, and he would fit with the Bengals.
Okay. Gone. What are you thinking here? What is Maloney doing in his head when he's making the selection?
Well, Maloney definitely wants to have a somewhat mobile quarterback. I know, and obviously he's definitely have offense. I don't even know what the linebacker situation is with Bengals, to be honest. But
You got a few decent ones, not great, but a few decent guys.
yeah, I mean, obviously someone like I'm just trying to figure out what other teams were even taken at this point. This is very difficult.
Chargers, Bills, Eagles, Chiefs, Browns.
No, I meant like what teams were left.
Oh,
over that I know
I
was
see. Okay,
taken.
sorry. Oh, okay. No, there you go.
I'm just trying to whip through all of the teams here. And yeah, I kind of think Bengals would be where he'd go.
So you guys hit the division, not the team. He took the Steelers.
Wow.
At number 6, Maloney went Steelers. At
Well,
number
I would have
He's
never.
the one that took the Steelers.
I would have never figured that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't
Yeah,
have.
so again, a little bit of wrinkles. That's why it's hard to mock. You don't know what people are going to think in that moment. Like, I guess, again, Steelers being a top 7 pick, Eagles being a top 7 pick. I go, granted, again, who picked them, but still, all these surprises so far. Okay,
Maloney and
Tyrant.
Koopa together.
Yeah. So Tyrant, where are we going with Tyrant here?
Gotta be
This,
Jets.
Yep.
The ETS.
Easy. Nobody else would have taken the Jets above us.
He did not
You
hesitate.
hesitated. I was
with
like,
what was on
what?
the board. No,
Yeah.
he did not hesitate. He took the Jets with what was on the board. So he is
Jake and
he's the
Tyrant.
Jets. There we go.
That's fun.
Okay, number 8. So we got the first of the Brock Bros coming off the board. We've got Trigger, who climbed up with a significant jump in the lottery. Where are we going with Trigger here?
He just kept going up. He was
James
going
took
crazy
5.
in league chat.
Yeah.
See, this is another one where I just don't know. I think the Colts were gone whenever I was up, so Colts.
Colts were gone.
None of the
Jeremy got
Bengals
Colts?
are still
Bengals?
out there,
Bengals are Colts? What are we thinking?
though.
Somebody else?
Bengals. I'm saving
Bengals?
Colts for V-Bank. V-Bank looks like a Colts
Okay.
guy.
Yeah.
What do you got, Gom?
Well, we've always established all the Brock Bros, if they have a choice, are going to go NFC. So, but yeah, if the Bengals are still there, I can't see him not taking them.
So I think Germ's initial intuition was correct. The
Really?
Colts were the team.
It
that
was the
taken.
Colts.
Once I
The
saw
Colts-
VBank was still left, I was like, VBank's a perfect Colts guy.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is joining Trigger there. So Trigger does have a better offensive weapon than he ever had with the Patriots in
Oh yeah.
Madden 22. So he should be lined up perfectly. Okay, so where does VBank go? If VBank has got the board, where is he going next at this point with the Colts off the board?
VBank is a tight end guy for sure. So the question is, did he take one? I mean, because what tight ends have even been taken of the remaining teams? Because Bengals don't have a tight end.
Well, I see. At this point, I know a lot of the teams that were still left. Over I picked. So it has to be, I think, the Raiders, which would be
Okay, so Raiders.
Kind of be interesting if he went there.
Okay.
He's back in the AFC West if he went there.
I'm agreeing that the Raiders, because
they've got Waller,
Darren Waller.
Okay. So he actually took the other big quarterback off the board, the Bengals. VBank.
He did do the
Bengals.
I keep saying all these names, so I think they're gone, and I'm not even paying attention.
Yeah.
I still would have thought he would have done the Raiders just for Waller. But
He saw them. He went with them. I guess the chance to get Chase with Burrow was a no-brainer. So he's going to have a high-powered offense once again. But he was definitely a run-first guy as the CFM went on. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays out with that. But Joe Mixon's incredible.
Yeah, Mixon's
so
sweet.
Mixon's a lot better than what they have on the Raiders. So
yeah.
That does make sense.
Okay, number 10, Jared. Where did Jared go based on your thoughts here, Gom? What do you think for Jared at number 10?
I need to see a list of the teams that are left here. Jared's sheet doesn't even have all the teams on it.
Yes, it does. I sent you the whole thing.
I
have the best teams available, right there.
Okay,
right in your
so
face.
Jared didn't take the Jaguars. That's what we all remember. Jared is the Jaguars from long, long ago, since they're still there.
He strongly considered the Jaguars. He literally was going to talk to me. He's like, "Do I be the homer pick and do the Jags?"
I was shocked they were still available whenever I was up.
Yeah, well, so
where would Jared go if he's not going for his favorite team? Where else where he might go?
Oh, Vegas.
He's sticking with his heart. So you got.
Yeah, he's gonna go Vegas.
Yeah, so the Raiders were number 10, so Jared did take the Raiders at number 10. Okay, so now we're getting into some other kind of interesting picks here. We got Leak at 11. Who did Leak
Well, based on process of elimination, I know exactly where Leak went.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, too.
Yeah.
So Leak's the one that stole Gom's Seahawks.
Yeah, well, when I learned at 15 the Seahawks were gone, I went through the list of people who could betray me. And the one who made the most sense was Leak. So, so I'm going to take a big gamble here and say that Leak stole the Seahawks from poor belabored Gom.
Leak did take the Seahawks. There wasn't very much. He thought about the Falcons, thought about running it back, but ultimately took the Seahawks. One of the 2 first-round picks. So,
and he knew what was going to happen right after that.
Probably he had some idea of what was happening next, so he did take the Seahawks. So they're off the board. So I don't think we even need to talk about Germ unless Germ went off the board and Germ picked somebody completely, just unmistakably. Okay, so the 49ers were the team selection.
We're back.
For Germ, they're at pick number.
We're back.
12. No one would ignore their favorite team like that.
Look, I will say, I sent to MHC when I picked. I was pretty shocked there was some teams left, like the Dolphins especially. I just figured somebody grabbed the receivers. Dolphins is pretty wild, and from the looks of it, with all the AFC teams gone, and then there's a lot of really good players coming up, the NFC could get pretty stacked just looking at it.
Yeah,
but I guess Jake and Tyrant, B-Bank, I mean, AFC's pretty good so far.
We'll see how it plays out because you got to see the rest of the names. We'll see how things play out.
I just wanted that was my thinking at that moment.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Okay, so we got Flap. Where did Flap go? What is he doing?
Gotta be
this time
Cowboys.
around here?
What would Flap do?
Got to go back to Cowboys, right?
So Flap first asked me if CeeDee Lamb was superstar. He didn't look at the Google sheet, I guess. And then he was asking why is he not superstar. So he was going back and like, I'm not
Yeah.
changing it now. So, but he did take the Cowboys, even though he thought the admins were way too hard on the Cowboys in how we evaluated them. But regardless, he did go back to Micah Parsons. So you should see lots of Micah Parsons Defensive Player of the Year honors the next few seasons. So we'll see how that plays out.
Oh, I think it was smart. Flap was.
Yeah.
He had his
Flap
best,
and Skittles
his
together.
best seasons right at the end. There.
Yeah.
So
We'll see what happens there. Okay, so I'm at 14. What do you think I'm thinking at number 14 based on
I'm thinking, well, there's the Broncos right there.
and I have a slight higher advantage than Germ here.
yeah, so let's let the Germ pick because I guess he would know the teams ahead. So we'll let Germ make the selection known since he knows.
Well, it has to be the Broncos. The last team left in the AFC West, and you get to pick on McGee and Jarrett. I mean, and you knew who was in there. It's a perfect scenario for you.
You know what? No, I didn't take the Broncos.
Yeah.
And the reason why I couldn't take them was no first round picks. I just can't do it. I'm somebody who doesn't trade their picks. I want my first round pick. So I did not want to pick a team that had no first. So did not pick the Broncos for that reason. Who's your alternative? If it's not the Broncos, who else do you think could be?
Ravens running it back for the Super Bowl.
Baltimore going back around. All right. So the actual team that I picked is I'm going to be the Arizona Cardinals.
What?
So I took the Cardinals
What?
this year. Yes.
Why would you do that?
The chance for all that speed with Kyler Murray. And,
He does have a lot of speed.
It's speed goal. I looked at the receiving core. I couldn't believe what I was looking at.
The
I was like, this
receiving core is
ridiculous.
retarded. Like, it's crazy.
You got all those young players, and then obviously, up the middle with Simmons, which I love to just play middle of the field. So
So we get from
it was
never
a
playing
no-brainer.
each other to twice a season.
twice a season
Yeah.
this year. So.
Now we get at least 12.
Well, the funny
There we
thing
go.
with that one is too is like at the time you would have known exactly that whole Broncos division was set. Like if you'd taken the Broncos, that would have been the first full division, right?
Mhm.
Because all three of those other teams were gone.
That's
But
baffling. Never would have expected.
it was
the
baffling.
Cardinals.
I was like, anybody's taking the Broncos for sure. He's been like so excited all offseason. Broncos, Russell Wilson. I'm so happy.
I think if they didn't nerf Russell Wilson as much as they did, if he was like 93, 94, I could have probably got behind it. But 87 with giving up 2 first-round picks is a pretty rough go for CFM.
But I do definitely understand the Cardinals pick, especially like moving from the Packers with that wonderful offense, because the Cardinals offense is really very similar because Kyler and Rod obviously is like one of the top quarterbacks. You've got receivers. You got D-Hop, who's basically another Devontae Adams. And then you got Hollywood Brown, who can basically turn into what Cooper was doing. So it's a really fun team to play with.
And part of me felt like I kind of wanted to keep him away from PAX. I kind of was like, I just don't want Kyler and that offense. Like, I'm just gonna mix it up a little. And honestly, I've never really been them before. I've just wanted to give them a shot. So the Cardinals got some options and they got some things. They got some weird cap situation in future years. They have 2 years without Kyler Murray's massive deal, and then it just goes through the roof. So we'll see how that plays out. Okay.
I'll tell you, I was really hopeful that the Cardinals would fall to PAX just to punish Leak for taking Seahawks. For him to have to play German PAX twice a year.
I can't believe Leak pulled the heel turn on Gom. Knowing Gom's
went
will
full
take
heel.
Seattle.
Yeah. So now I
just
got to hope that PAX takes the Rams for whatever reason.
No.
Just to completely.
Okay.
Nope.
So Jerm, where do you think Gom would go if his Seahawks are off the board? He's next.
Gom's taking the Panthers. We discussed his backup options. I know he's taking the Panthers.
So no hesitation.
It's got to be the Panthers because they've got the speed at the corner and they've got all the speed in all the right places for him. The only thing, like most people would think he would go with the Dolphins, but Gom loves to rebuild. So Panthers have enough pieces and he can rebuild.
And I will applaud. Gom was a few people that were really, really quick. Gom was about a few minutes to respond. Some of the people were really quick as well. So he was quick on the Panther draw. He did not think about it. He was like, I'm taking the Panthers. So that was good.
Yeah, I had a 1, 2, 3, and Panthers were number 2, and that was I didn't even see the other teams. Obviously, at my first glance, I never even saw the Broncos were still there.
Who were
If
your?
I had, I would have been like, "What? How are the Broncos still here?" But yeah, it was one.
So who else were you thinking about?
I was actually the Cards were
The Cards were high on your list. Okay, yeah.
were there, so I was. They were like around 3 or 4, but
Mhm.
Panthers were a clear number 2 for me just because of their corner situation.
Yeah.
I really love their corner situation. Like and plus, Jared will always trade for Baker at some point in the season. So.
No. I made the mistake one time.
Never again. He's going to never do it again. Okay, so we're going to move to 16. Now, this person responded maybe faster than anybody with their pick. This is a Fetto.
No, it's
Who did
gotta be the
Fetto?
Bears.
Yep, that was easy. Bears.
He
Bears, Bears.
He was surprised at what was on the board because there were a lot of good teams
Yeah.
left.
Look, I have a direct message from a Fetto
Yeah.
last night, and at 9:53 he said, "This draft is wild." That's all I've got to say.
Yeah, I know. In what world do the Dolphins fall to the bottom half of the draft?
Can we acknowledge the fact that the Packers went
the Ravens.
after the Bears and Raven, whoever else is
The
not been
first,
taken yet?
the first, NFC North to go is the Bears.
So the Bears at 16 go to Fetto. Okay, Seymour. Where is Seymour going at 17? Let's start with you, Gom. What are you picking for Seymour?
Well,
Interesting.
I would have 100% said Dolphins because he's like he's a speed guy. That's a nice way of saying it. But because he took them in Isle, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to take the Dolphins twice. So I'm going to say he takes the Ravens.
Ravens, okay.
He
Where are you
had
going there?
he had Lamar before.
Yeah, that was my reasoning there.
Man, I don't know. I think he's gonna go something weird. Titans. Get
So
Malik and Henry. I don't know.
He took a while because he was watching Game of Thrones when I messaged him, and he kept delaying it with messages and other stuff.
Understandable. I was too.
pivoting
It was excellent.
Yeah. So he was pivoting quite a bit. He wanted a team that wasn't completely screwed with money, but I guess he wanted to be able to pivot with a good roster. He took the Packers. The
Ah,
Packers went number 17.
The
right after the
NFC.
Bears.
Ugh.
There you
Dude.
go.
of course he had to do that.
Okay, so Smithy's on the board. No Cowboys. We know Smithy was. We were definitely memeing about it in our admin chat about where Smithy is playing FIFA and when he's going to make his selection. What does Smithy do at 18? Germ, start us off.
He kept acting like he was feeling gross about it, which makes me think it's the Dolphins. Because you got to feel gross when you take the Dolphins and all that cheese. So that's my thinking.
That's your pick. Okay.
Yeah.
Dom, what do you think for what Smithy did?
Well, my first instinct would have been the Bucks because they're obviously the best team. That being said, Smithy, I think, came to the realization in his last few seasons that a running game is very critical for his success.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I'm gonna go out of the blue here. I'd love to say he took the Vikings just to screw with Intel, but I'm gonna say that he took. I'm gonna say he took the Saints. I don't know. It's just
okay.
it's just a weird little pick. I could see him liking to have Alvin Kamara, but
So he did something that I would never do in a million years, which is pick a division rival of my favorite team. I refuse to do it. I don't
What?
care if they were all sitting there.
Do the Commanders?
The Washington Commanders.
wow.
Right before Sidex.
Yes. And he said, I'm just going to stick it to Sidax. So he took the
man.
Commanders. And Sidax was sitting there waiting to go to bed because I said, you're to pick next.
That's
You're
the
gonna pick
Josh
next."
move.
And then boom, he's off the board.
When Josh picked the
Commanders won 18.
Broncos.
And the best part is he messaged me this morning. He's like, I regret my pick.
I guarantee you
I
regret it.
bet he does.
And, but I was strongly going to pick the Commanders. Like I was this close. I was really.
The Commanders are
thinking-
sweet. They got a nice
I really
roster.
like the.
Yeah,
I like the
they're good.
defensive line. I like the composition.
I mean,
of the team.
He's gonna. The running back is Gibson. So I mean, like,
It's okay. Yeah, he's serviceable. He's 2 years decent contract. It's like 1.5, 1.8 million next 2 years. So
That's crazy.
yeah. So he took the Commanders. So I didn't expect that. Okay, so Sidex.
So now Sidex is get the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Where's
Sidex
Sidex going?
Dolphins.
The Sidex went Dolphins at
Yeah.
number
Gosh.
19.
That's a league
So
ender.
Yep.
We
Well
know
done.
got speed.
Good job, Smithy.
He wasn't sure about Tua. He's not sure about Tua, but he's got the Dolphins and Waddle and Hill with
fix
all that
Tua
stuff.
instantly. Just trade
Yeah.
him.
So
What is it?
Look at that
100 and-
division. Holy crap.
100 196 speed total between two players. That's the attributes between Waddle
Jake,
and Hill.
Tyrant, and Synax.
So there you go. Okay, so we got Synax on the board. Okay, Taste comes in at 20. He would fell the lowest of anybody of the top echelon of the group.
Titans.
So he didn't have a high pick last year either. So who did he pick?
Titans.
You got Titans? What do you got?
He wants run game. Well, I guess Ravens. Ravens still out there too.
You seem pretty confident about the Titans pick.
Well, he likes run game and defense. I guess that their defense might not be that great though.
Yeah, I mean, I almost like Taste taking the best team available, which would have been Bucks. So I'm going Bucks.
So you're right, Jerm. He did take the Titans. He wanted the run game, and they do have some. They have Malik Willis, who's just a freak of 94 throw power, 92 speed.
Yep.
And then you've got Fulton. What's his the corner 95 speed. They've got Byard. They got Simmons off the line. So they got some pieces. Like I actually the Titans could have gone higher. I
thought they'd go higher too. And if somebody took the Niners, the Titans were going to probably be really high on my list.
Yeah, I think they're going to be a decent pivot point. And I think Tannehill's under contract for 2 years. So once you're done 2 years, it's like $40 million you got to play with a rookie quarterback. So if you build the team right, it's a real turnaround. It's one of those other teams that, if you get the quarterback can expire, kind of like the Panthers, and you get rid of Darnold, $30 million off the cap, kind of build what you want to do, see what you can get. So
yeah.
Okay, so Titans are off the board. So that leaves Pax. Pax sitting here at 21. No Jets this year, so the Jets are gone. He can't go back.
So all the teams that we kind of thought Pax would want are gone. The Jets, the Panthers, the Cardinals. Those are the three that he wanted, because of the Oklahoma boys and the Jets, of course.
Yep.
I do have a text from him, a DM from him 10 minutes ago. He said he made a business decision. Hope out west treats you nice. So I don't know what that means.
He's speaking code as usual, yeah.
Everybody has to speak in code right now because nobody wants to get penalized.
No one that gets drilled here. I'm going to come after you.
I'm obviously nervous here because there's still 3 teams left in my division, and one of them's a very high overall team.
I just hope he's in the AFC. I'm going Ravens here.
All right, Gom, what are you picking here? You think he's going with you, or is he going in the AFC, or maybe going outside the NFC divisions?
If the Ravens are there, I don't see how he doesn't take them. It's the same thing. Like, that's just.
There's no speed at receiver there. There's no speed.
There's no speed at receiver, but I mean, even if he claims that he's not going to be able to trade based on what we've seen in the drafts, I don't think there's too much.
I'm just wishful thinking right now.
I'm wishful thinking too.
just be AFC.
So, I really want him to take the Rams.
He did pick an NFC team.
NFC
South. No, NFC West. Sorry, NFC West.
He picked the Rams?
No, I just played with you. He picked the Ravens. That's what is the end.
Oh,
no, he picked the Ravens. He did. No, he did. I was like, oh, do I pivot? Let's go.
I was like, no team would fit him worse, though, than the Rams. So if he did take the Rams, it would have been fine, because they're just old and slow.
That's too bad, though. That was my dream.
But they have trade assets. They got major trade assets. But yes,
I think if Pax had taken the Rams, MHC would still be like huddling in a corner right now. Like, what have I done? What have I done? Taking the cards.
All right.
Every bat is different. So we'll see how it plays out. But
so Maloney and Pax are back together. They love playing each other.
That division is full now.
Yep.
We got the 4 teams.
Pax, Maloney, V-Bank, and Koopa.
Yeah,
solid division. Poor
wow.
Koopa. Koopa's hating life.
I know, Koopa. Poor Koopa.
Division 6-1. Okay, so we've got one more pick that was sent in because we're stuck at 23. So who do you think is the 22nd overall pick?
He's got to be Texans. It's always been talking about for weeks. If he pivots at this point, that'd be wild.
Yeah, it's like someone wanting the Broncos and pivoting. It doesn't happen.
Well, if I had two first round picks coming up, I would probably take my team as well. But no, I don't have 2 first round picks.
Yeah, it was
like the Rams last year. When they had that free fall, like they fell to like 27, 28, and it's because they had no picks. They had no draft picks to speak. And that's a good roster.
Like the Niners don't have a first round pick this year, so that sucks.
Yeah. He did take the Texans. The Texans are off the board, so they are absolutely the pick here. So that leaves. I'll just read off the remaining teams, and we'll just
my entire division.
Yeah, your entire division is still sitting strong.
That's crazy.
And let's take a look here. I got my list sent out here.
Well,
to
the good
Brandon
news
'cause
is
he's on the
Pax
clock.
won't be in there, Fedo won't be in there, Silex won't be in there.
Okay, so we've got Patriots left, Jags, Broncos, Giants, Lions, Vikings, Saints, Bucks, Falcons, and Rams.
It's crazy the Bucks are still there.
So why do we do this? Why do you mock the rest of the draft? How's it going to
All
go?
right.
Where's Brandon going to go? Let's get each of your picks and we'll go from there. Keep track of your list. Like there's no consensus. So just keep track of those teams. We got the Patriots, the Jags, the Broncos, the Giants, Lions, Vikings, Saints, Bucks, Falcons, and Rams. Then we'll see how your mocks compare over these final.
Too fast. Send that
Okay.
list.
I'll send the list to you. I'll send the list to you right now.
Yeah.
It's on the list I sent you, Gal.
No, it's not.
You're looking at the wrong spreadsheet then.
You're in it right now, unless it's like somewhere. Oh, there it is.
Right in the middle is the best available. Ones that aren't black.
Okay. Ones that aren't black.
So you guys can mock what we got here. So let's go through it. So we got 23 with Brandon. Brandon has posted one message in the past 30 days. So I don't know. He just said on August 5th, I'm happy to be here, and that was it. So I have no idea where Brandon is or what's happening. So we'll see. But anyway, where do you think Brandon goes at 23 based on what's left on the board? If he doesn't get back to me in the next, like, I would say 2-3 hours, I'm going to skip him because I'm not waiting the whole. I don't no idea when he's going to come back. So I'm just going to give him the best available.
Just message Brock and tell him Brandon's up.
I don't think Brandon is a Brock. I don't think he is.
Yeah,
I thought
he
Parker
is.
He's a Brock bro.
Is he? Okay.
He is. I just don't know. Like, some of them are closer with. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like some of them are like Joe Daddy friends. Some of them are like B-Bank friends, and they're all just collab together.
Okay, so what do we got?
I think he would just take the best teams. I think he would go Bucks.
You know what, Base? I think he's going to take the Rams.
Yep.
And we had
I
him
thought
mocked.
he might go Rams too. But.
We had him mocked to do the Rams, and so Brock seemed to agree at the time that. So I think he's going to.
They're probably the two highest overall teams left.
Yeah,
probably those two. Maybe the Saints are actually pretty high as well, so they may actually be in that conversation as well. Okay, so we got those. So if you guys got consensus, are you going Rams or are we going?
We can go Rams. We can.
Rams. Okay, you do have the consensus, but okay. 24. Greatness. Where's Greatness picking? With what's left on the board here.
Greatness needs receivers. He loves
speed.
he loves to sling the ball. Maybe the Lions.
Bucks.
Oh yeah, the Bucks got all those receivers. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Okay, so Bucks, we're in a consensus there. Okay, we got Soup at 25. So another big player sitting on the board here. Where does Soup do? Soup likes to run the ball. Definitely a run first coach, not a pass first coach. Where are we going with?
Gosh, does Soup take Vikings from Intel 2 picks before Intel? I feel like Soup would be really good with the Vikings with Jefferson, Cook, and those other. Like they've got 3 awesome running backs because they got Cook and then 2 fast guys.
What do you hate the Broncos?
Huh?
Hate the Broncos? I feel like that would be no. I feel like that team has got young Javonte Williams, power back.
How fast is Javonte?
Like he's only 88 speed, but he's got like a high.
I mean, he didn't go with
95 broken tackle. He did with Carson. So
you know what? I'm gonna go Broncos. I agree with you because
that was going to be my backup if I thought Soup had a heart and didn't want to take Intel's Vikings.
I think he'd take Broncos or Vikings. Like even that said, he always likes to have a good mobile quarterback, and Vikings definitely.
You know what he's had Russ, so he'll just follow Russ.
Yeah, exactly. Like he knows what Russ does. So
okay, so we got there. 26 Rockra. Where is Rockra gonna go?
This one I've really got no idea. Well, he was Falcons when he first got here. Maybe he goes back to Falcons. Falcons be a fun team this year.
That's what I'm thinking. I think he might do Falcons, even though
it's been. He do Terrell, yeah.
I mean, he's coming back to my division, if that's true. But
the first time we've heard Atlanta's name, I told you that Leak was almost going to take them at 11. So we have not heard Atlanta at all through this entire conversation.
Yeah, see, and that's another thing. Like I said, the Titans would have been one of my choices if the Niners were gone. The Falcons would have been one as well. I don't. Because that quarterback, that rookie quarterback is going to be good. I mean, he's only normal, so you would have to. You really need to get him start the first season.
Yeah.
But after that,
you got to build up. Okay, we've got Intel at 27. So
we found a way to get the Vikings back to Intel.
Do you think he goes 3 straight years?
Oh yeah, he said he would. You could auto draft him Vikings and he'd be happy.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Vikings will go off the board at 27. Okay, so now we're at Brock. Brock is the best player left in the bottom, I think, 7 or 8 picks. So where is Brock going to go based on what's left on the board? So far, we've said that the Saints have not been taken. So lost the camera there. I don't know what happened there. The Saints have not been taken. We don't have the Patriots being taken. We don't have the Jaguars as being taken. We don't have the Rams as being taken. Not sure where you guys are feeling this right now, but
I don't know where you went. There you are.
there goes back. There you go.
I think he would go Lions or Jags. I don't think he'd go back to the Saints.
No. Okay. What about
No,
the
I think
Rams?
you're
Do you think
muted.
Rams are possible? Or yeah, he's muted.
Gom, you're muted. Nice foot, by the way. Get that
We had
foot
Brandon-
out of here.
We had Brandon taking the Rams already at 23, so they're
Okay.
off the board. Yeah, and according to Brock's best available, we had the Saints. He has the Saints at 20, and then the next one is the Lions at 27. So if he's being true to his rankings and
Yeah.
wanting a team, he's going to take the Saints. Does he take the Saints again? If not, then he's taking the Lions. And the Lions honestly are a nice young team. So I mean, I could see him taking the Lions over the Saints for that reason.
I thought Lions or Jags. I could see
That's what
one
I
of
think.
those two based on what we're looking at here. Okay, we got Joe Daddy next. Mr. I don't know what to make of Joe Daddy, but Joe Daddy's up next. What do you want to?
Nobody
Joe
knows
Daddy
what to
gonna
make
do?
of Joe Daddy.
No one knows what to make of Joe Daddy.
I think he'd go Saints. He's gonna
Yep.
take the best team.
Yep, yeah. He knows he'll follow the Brock Bro best available rankings and realize he's gonna get much
Okay.
better than the bottom 14 he thought he would.
All right, so that leaves us with Parker, Not a Veg, and Darkman as the last 3 selections. Where are we going with Parker?
Jags.
Jags.
These 3, I don't really know. I have no idea.
We still have Patriots left, and we have the Rams. The Rams already said are gone. Sorry, so we have
Yeah.
the Patriots. We have
And the
the
Giants.
Lions and
Giants?
Lions and
All right,
Giants.
yeah, Patriots, Giants, Jags. Lions are gone to Brock.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jags, Giants, Patriots. I got too many colors
Yeah.
in my thing here.
And I think
Who-
the Giants, Patriots are the consensus bottom 2 at this point. Like Jags at least have a
Who-
little bit of youth.
who
to
would be
build
your
with,
who would be
but
your last pick? I think the
Patriots.
Patriots are the worst team.
Yeah,
I think
Patriots.
They
there's
have
a-
that 97 speed receiver,
Patriots.
but
That's all they have.
So I got to feel that means Darkman ends up with Dynax, Tyrant, and Jake.
oh god.
Welcome back
That'd
to the
be-
league, Dark Man.
That'd be quite the arrival. Or Veg is ending up with them, right? So I don't know. Maybe he goes the other way. If he goes Giants, I don't know.
Whichever one ends up Patriots is going to wish they didn't. That's for sure. And not just because
Well,
of the team, but because of the
The
division.
competitive, it is a very different division because then you have the NFC East. You've got Skittles, Smithy, Lap. You got a very different division outcome depending on where you go. Whoever makes that selection. So those two
Yeah.
are going to be
Yeah.
setting their pathway down a very different direction
Yeah.
when they make that decision.
Wow.
So they're in that point. So yeah. So
You got to fill out those divisions, Drew. Let's see what they all look like.
Yeah, but we don't know what they would look like, really.
Well, I guess if you don't want to make them locked in.
This is what's locked in over there.
Yeah.
there's only still a handful, right? We still got to go through a few of these teams, and honestly, depending on what somebody like Soup does, Soup and Brock really are the other 2 wild cards left of the group. The other guys are good too, but like they're the 2 kind of proven guys. So I would say that they're the guys that
Mm-hmm.
are on the unknown.
Well,
Of the teams left, whoever takes the Jags is going to be in the best spot. Because you got a young team, and the division is still winnable. Trigger, Taste, and Mustang.
yeah.
No real
Because
powerhouse. Mustang's a solid
Mustang will be
playoff
pretty
team.
powerful, except the fact he's got the Texans.
Right, so it's gonna take him. It's gonna take him a year or 2 to build that up.
Yeah.
The
And then-
AFC North, man. V-Bank, Pax, Maloney, and Koopa. Last 2 Super Bowl teams are together.
Yeah, I think Maloney's going to be like really regretting taking this deal for whatever reason he took. The
What? So,
Steelers.
MMHC, what's the biggest surprise to you so far?
Of any
Besides you.
team that was taken, like in terms of where,
Yeah,
I gotta say, you know what? I think really 2 things. I really thought McGee going Patrick Mahomes, I was like, I thought maybe, but like there were better teams that like are better positioned. Like, I just don't think the Chiefs roster is very good. Like I think it's good, but it's not
Yeah.
like top 5 good. That was a little bit surprised. I still think Maloney going Steelers. I just was like, where did that come from? Like it's just the most surprising selection of anybody that would be
Yep.
like
Yeah.
anything I'm looking at. I think the whole draft, that was the one that I was like, oh, all right, that's going to be a bit of a pivot for the rest of the league to think about what's next.
It'd be really funny if that he took the Steelers because he thought the division was going to be like, a little easier, because it didn't work out that way at all.
Now, I think the biggest steal of the draft, without even questioning, is I think definitely getting the Ravens at 21. Like I just think that's pretty wild to think about that Pack fell to 21 and got the Ravens in his lap.
Yeah.
But they would never like. I know
Yeah.
Lamar still needs a new contract, but they still have like their linebacker core is really quick and young. They don't have receiving, but they've got loaded at corner. They got one really good safety. They got Calais Campbell. Like that team is pretty well stacked for 21 to have an X factor quarterback sitting there.
I can't believe Smithy took the Commanders one spot ahead of Sidax. The Commanders
allow him
are
to
the
get Dolphins.
division rival, and then Sidax gets the Dolphins. Like that's the
Jared,
biggest,
could you
the
do it?
craziest team flop.
Could you pick the Seahawks? Could you pick
No,
the Cardinals? I couldn't. There's no,
never.
I just no
Never.
chance I could do it. I can't do.
Never.
I could not pick a division rival under any circumstance.
No,
I told y'all if it's down to especially the Seahawks. Like if I pick 32 and it was the Rams or the Cardinals, I guess I could still play in the league. If it's the Seahawks, I will literally go on the wait list. I will not
That's
play.
I wouldn't be in my own league if it was the Raiders. So that would be like the one to accept and just walk away.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the same with me. There's like no way I would take the 49ers. The only reason that I like the Cardinals enough that I could take them and then just beat down whoever took the Seahawks in revenge. That's the only way that I go in the division.
Why do you hate the Cardinals? They never won anything. I think the Chargers. They've never won anything. They've never won anything. So it's like they've never had any kind of success to really.
I can't believe the NFC South is still just sitting there wide open.
I have a feeling Brock is going to end up in there.
We're just looking at it.
Are you surprised the Bucks, even though I know there's some issues, like their cap situation beyond this year is messed up. Like it is like everyone's making 15 to 25 million next year, but they still have the most assets to trade. Like they're loaded from like a retooling standpoint, like to find new weapons. You trade Godwin. They got superstar Antoine Winfield. They've got
Winfield being superstar
pretty
is
quickly.
big.
You can pivot fast and find the right team. Maybe trade Mike Evans if you wanted to. I'm not saying you would, but there's a lot
of options.
You have no shortage of retooling on that roster.
And I think that'd be if I got the Bucks. I wouldn't want to get a team that's just stacked with older players.
No.
But so if I got the Bucks, that's what I would do. I would flip everybody and rebuild immediately. Even though I wouldn't need to, it just wouldn't be fun to keep it as is.
Just like me and the Browns, right?
So here's a question for you: if you get the Bucks, depending on who's left, are you trading Brady or are you keeping him for the year?
I would try to trade him immediately.
But there is no regression. So if he there's no.
He'd probably retire though. I
He'll
think
retire.
he retired.
That's possible, but yeah, that's what I was wondering about whether he's on an expiring deal. So he is a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
Well, unlike last man, I think for what they were saying with the test franchises was that all the old quarterbacks like Brady and Rodgers do retire like pretty fast,
Right?
as opposed to where they're eternal in Madden 22.
Yeah.
So
we just kept coming back.
But yeah, I still can't believe my whole division's open. That's insane.
Okay, so I need to have some idea here. So Brandon's been on the clock for almost 3 hours. If he doesn't get back to me the next hour or two, I got to skip him because I just don't know.
I wonder what his. I wonder where he works. Like, if he just got a job that he can't look at his phone ever.
But do you just pick the best available? Like, I feel like I just pick the Bucks in that case because they're the highest overall team. Like, I don't know what you do. Like, they are the highest overall team. I don't know where else to do.
You might just have to give them a little bit more time and hope for the best, because some other coaches, I'm pretty sure, had a good chunk of time over the last little time. So,
well, we had nobody. Well, except for the overnight selection because they went picking at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, but nobody picked longer than an hour.
good for everybody.
Smithy was the longest of anybody so far. Outside
Message every Brock bro and say, one of you get a hold of Brandon, tell him if he doesn't pick the next hour, he's losing his pick.
Could probably at least Brock or one of them probably at least know like
Oh
where
yeah.
he is or if he's working.
I'm sure one of them has like the ability to text him too, because they all like text each like contact each other in IRL all the time. So
True.
I do that.
So let's see, Gom. So your worst case scenario would be if Soup takes the Bucks,
Brock.
and then so Soup and Brock are what you're worrying about right here.
Yeah.
I guess that's what we're all worrying
that's
about.
The fear.
If Soup and
the
Brock
fear.
just go anywhere but the NFC West or the NFC South is what we're hoping for.
Well, no matter what, like it's funny because if they go to the North or the West, then you've got like 3 power teams in either of those divisions, if not 4. Like NFC North in a really funny world would be a Fedo, Seymour, Soup, and Brock, which would just be awesome. Can you imagine?
Phew.
I'm curious to know who ends up with Gemini.
I guess the conferences are going to be kind of even looking at it, but there's going to be a couple of just stacked divisions.
Yeah. Yeah, the conferences at least will be even. Like it's similar to what we had in our mock. It looks like it's pretty and there's actually a Brockborough in the AFC, so there you go. So even though there's only
I can't believe
Brock...
MHC took the freaking Cardinals. That's probably the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah.
Really? That's your biggest one?
With the Broncos.
I just never would have seen it
such
coming.
A late pick. Like I could have seen you not taking the Broncos if you had like a top 5.
I just thought Broncos were given.
If they had a draft pick and then Russell Wilson was not nerfed, I would have picked them.
So
being the 87 was just too much. And then no first round picks for 2 years. 1 year you can do, 2 is like over 6 years is just killer.
So had the Cardinals not been there, who would you have taken?
I was gonna take the Commanders.
Oh, you would have.
I really I just love the comp, like their defensive line composition. I just think like Davis at middle linebacker is great. I think Howell could have been developed.
You could have saved Smithy from himself.
I could have saved Smithy from his inevitable path.
Smithy's going to be miserable for the next like 10 months.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm not a speed receiver guy, but I know that I could turn that speed into something else if I wanted to. I've already traded Brown once in my life for a superstar corner, X Factor corner. So maybe.
All right. I'll trade for Hollywood. Fine.
Hollywood. You'd be the one, the sacrificial lamb. So
I'll trade for one of my mini corners.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to play Germ twice a year because I think the last time I even remember playing Germ in a game was like going back to the original league that before HPX. I remember playing him. I think
it was your very, very first game.
You were the Titans.
No, you were the Eagles.
Eagles. I was the Eagles and you were the Titans. It was the first game we played. I remember
because I had been smashing everybody.
Yes.
And that was my first league ever.
Yes.
I'd never even played online games really. I'd only play with my buddies. And then I was just beating everybody, and I was like, man, maybe I'm pretty decent. And then MHC beat me like 21-7 or something like that. Just caught me completely off guard.
Yeah, it was the first game I remember. We haven't really played very much because we've been opposite conferences pretty much the entire CFM cycle. So,
and I'm sure both of you are equally excited to be able to play League twice a year too, right?
Bring it on.
I've already played.
Bring it on, Leak.
Big step back circle.
Yeah.
Leak obviously knew what he was doing when he picked the Seahawks, so Leak wants it.
Well, that's what I mean. Both Leak and MHC knew that Germ was going to be in their division. Like that was
they wanted
it. They knew they wanted it. So
I'm ready. I'm ready for the competition. Let's go. I got everything we got. Let's go all in.
You know, I would. It would be really interesting if Rams fell to suit because I think he'd take them too.
Oh God, that would suck. That would not be good.
Because that seems like a soup team, 100%.
Somebody I'm hard at but they have no running game. Like they got like Cam Akers. Like it's kind of like
Cam Akers is decent.
You know what the problem with the Rams is? It takes a lot of cap management. And Soup has already said he struggles with any type of trade free agent decision. Like he is somebody like Josh that just inherits the team and runs with it. Like he just, like I think you need a team that doesn't have a lot of cap issues to navigate. Like the Bucks and the Rams are going to be you're in decision hell the next 2-3 seasons, figuring out what to do and how to manage your cap. Especially with our system of like re-signing the players, Superstar X Factor contracts, all the other stuff we got going on, the speed tax, all the other stuff on the younger players. Like that stuff is going to be a lot more hard to navigate if you're not really paying attention to it.
Yep.
Yep.
So I know it's gonna be fascinating because the draft went fairly smooth and pretty quick. I was pretty happy with how things have transpired. I got an update. Apparently, Brandon is on his first day of college today, or in some degree of that. So VBank, Joe Daddy, and Brock are going to reach out to him on Instagram, and hopefully he texts them back and gives us at least some direction.
Instagram. These youngins today DMing on
Instagram
Instagram.
conversation. So
Yeah, but by the way, so let's take a look at like who's switched conferences. Like, because we figured we figured there might be like a big shift because you kind of once you've in one conference, the tendency is to move over. Like Jake, obviously has moved over.
Jake swapped, Sonic swapped, Maloney
Tyrant
swapped,
Maloney swapped.
Tyrant, yeah. Or no, Tyrant
the
was
Tyrant
Browns.
Tyrant's
was
still
Ravens.
there.
I mean, not
Pax,
Browns.
Pax is still there.
I will say
Mustang
that I say that the division comp it's fairly it's not too bad. The conference balance.
The conference is balanced.
It's much and it's a little.
I mean,
more
right now
balanced.
the AFC is stronger.
Uh-huh.
Well, I guess there are some.
Unless
powerhouses in the NFC,
unless
though.
Soup and Brock take two of those last three teams,
I keep
it's gonna be pretty balanced.
I keep forgetting about that NFC North, seeing Afeto and Seymour sitting there side by side. Shoo!
Yeah.
Well, I think ideally you always want to have two really good teams, two good coaches in each division, try to make it interesting. So nobody's got a clear runaway every single time, or maybe there's some parity with that and someone else wins one year to the next.
Like what Gom might be doing in the NFC South, depending on how it folds out.
Well, he could end up with the greatness Intel division or something else. You never
I
know.
could end up with three Brock Bros. We just don't at this point, which would be funny. But
I just want to see what happens if Intel doesn't get the Vikings. I think they can't imagine taking anyone else. At this point.
I
I think they're a decent pick. Like I think Jefferson, they may go higher than we thought. Like they are pretty stacked as superstar X Factor players, so they might go higher than Intel gets a chance to. Like that's a soup team if I ever saw one.
There is at least a regular playoff team in each division.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it, there are perennial playoff teams in each division. At least has two. Like there's three in the AFC East with Tyrant, Jake, and Synax. So you got three in there. You've got Maloney, who's obviously just went to a Super Bowl recently. You've got Pax there. You got VBank, who's been to the playoffs a few times. Koopa's missed out the 1 year he had the wedding, so he would have probably made his first playoff appearance that year. You got the AFC South. You got Mustang right now, who's pretty much the only proven one. I will say this: my brother is completely a wild card. If he gets into Madden with the running game and he's proven he can play,
he made it to the AFC Championship game.
He beat some good people before, so maybe he can. Who knows? So that's a possibility there.
He got mid blitzed.
Got mid blitzed to hell.
Then I got mid blitzed right after that.
If Taste went for it, like he would definitely, as of right now, I think he's the favorite on that division. Like no offense to Mustang, but with the Texans, that's such a rebuild.
I thought about the Titans. I really did because Malik Willis it's so intriguing. Like it's just like the arm, the size of him, you got him for 4 years under contract if he doesn't dev up. Like you've just got 4 years of player control.
Well, and we remember Derrick Henry and that stiff arm, right? Like I
mean,
love that stiff arm
running down the field with it. Malik Willis,
just stay away from me. There's no point.
Malik Willis is built the way I wish Trey Lance was in this game.
Yeah, he's just a freak athlete.
Faster and more throw power.
Yeah.
And then the AFC West, you got Johnny. You've got McGee. McGee had some flirting with that. Jared, we don't know what Jared's going to be. And then obviously the Broncos are up in the air. I'd say right now the NFC East is kind of the open one. Like you got Flap with the Cowboys, the Commanders are taken. You got Skittles with the Eagles. You got the Bears and the Packers with Seymour and Afeto. So two really good guys there. You got Gom in the South. You got me and you in the West with Leak as well. So I think for most part you're gonna have some competitive divisions, at least some good games.
Gom all alone in the South.
Going to be fun.
Well, hey, you might end up with maybe Brock and.
I know it. I know it. I expect at least one of them. Like the chances are, unless, especially because I think the Broncos are going to go next. So
they definitely could be on there. I think that people don't really look close enough. I think the people might not know they don't have 2 first-round picks. They might not click in, and then you're like, oh shit, what happened to my roster? And then you're building accordingly because it sucks if you're not a very good if you're not a very good coach. I wouldn't want to take the Broncos because if you're not very good, then you don't have a pick for 2 years, and then you're just like you're also reaping the benefits. And I know you guys aren't big on the blind draft, but that's another thing I was also considering. Is let's say the Broncos go to a really weak coach, and you're looking at it going, "Hey, Seahawks, do I maybe look and take at them because I'm going to get more benefit from that point of view?" So you don't really know who the coach is that's benefiting from that.
Well, how did you feel about this, Chris? Because basically, this was an open draft for you. Like in regards to
you know what? It didn't really change because I knew the teams that I had. I had a team. I had a list of like 5 teams, and I thought they would be in the top 15. I didn't know what I was going to pick, and the Cardinals were high on my list just because everyone keeps talking about speed this Madden more than anything else, and I'm like, I love to trade. I love to team build, and I could take all that speed and make the team I wanted if I really wanted to. And I wanted a quarterback again that I didn't have to develop. Like Kyler Murray, again, you had to develop. He's 84 overall, but he's not like Aaron Rodgers, but he's still
he's top 5.
He's top. He's a really good guy. The only problem is the contract is hell in 2 years, and it goes to like I think it's 56 million at one point in year 4. It's a high cap number. So you have 2 years and then hell. So
and to stick with being in real life, we're suspending Hopkins for the first 6 games, right?
Yeah.
No partial suspension. We said that.
Yeah.
No partial.
No, we're gonna go ahead and implement it.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and implement it now. We've got 2 out of 3 admins on here.
And originally, it was funny. We were talking about because Hopkins was removed as X Factor. And I was like, well, do we do the same thing? And then Tyrant's like, no, he's absolutely an X Factor receiver. We're keeping him X Factor. I'm like, all right, done. So I was like,
okay.
Take that away too.
I had no idea the Cardinals would be. And you had the one thing is, I would have taken it, and it probably would have been terrible. I was really wanting the 49ers potentially. Like it was really on my radar if it had worked out that way. I want Kittle, and I knew he wouldn't trade Kittle, so that's what
suddenly this new breakout league formed by Germ starts a day later.
Any given Monday.
All the spawns that come off that any given that. It's 7 different days of the week at this point. Oh Jesus! Oh my God! All the licensing.
All right, well, I'm 10 minutes away from having to clock in. So, any final thoughts?
Yeah. So I think we'll just mention it here because it's going to air this week. We're going to do a division reveal. They'll get the division reveal before they watch the OG because we're going to do division reveal probably late tonight if the draft is over.
Right.
It'll
So
be probably,
I'll probably put this out after.
Probably Tuesday. I would say probably on Tuesday this will be out. So I would say people will look forward to the fact that we will be starting this week. The trade process will start when the league is created at probably on Wednesday. So the league will be created Wednesday. People can join, and then basically trade discussions will start in there. The TC is going to be formed. We haven't made the trade committee as of yet. It's going to be rebuilt and retooled.
Germ wants to go.
That's going to have to be redone and figured out. And then also we're going to use we got to practice the Neon Sports tool because that's going to be a much more effective tool.
That looks pretty sweet, I'll be honest.
Elite chat. All the commands are fantastic. The bot that's dedicated to it. There's a little less customization with the page itself other than the banner, but it's just going to be a much better, I think, interface than Data League ever was. So. Oh, and I also mentioned this too. I'm going back into our old Madden games. I'm installing them back because I haven't deleted the files. I'm going to go back and we're going to do the AGS Hall of Fame with the players that were drafted. So I'm going to go back over the years. We'll add some names for people that were a part of that, and we'll induct. I'm hoping to induct 3 created players from each Madden. We'll do
I think I still have.
You have some names there.
Kind of like the top 100, but not quite.
From the first 2 years, because I remember I had Hill and Maxi and...
Yeah. Because I think that's a good number. I think 3 iconic players to remember. We could do 4, but I think 3 or 4 would be like the idea. Maybe 4, Mount Rushmore, you just do 4 heads, whatever else, and just do... Those are the 4 guys that, we are going to take forward from every Madden. So we'll create a little... Because I do want to honor the history a little bit with the names. And that's why I kind of like the people that keep the created player names, because I don't
like changing the names, and I don't
like changing names.
I hope we don't
like it either.
I think we should take it away this year.
I'm not a big fan of it personally because I like the fact that you get these random names like Joe Jonas that
Yeah, and well, you get attached to who the names are whenever you're looking at the draft, and then you just change it, and you're like, oh well.
Yeah, imagine if the Maxi Bartel didn't exist. It needs to exist.
You get those names that are really quite iconic. What are some other good ones? Just to finish off on that, what are some other good names you remember from that were created over the years?
The
I had an
Archambault.
Archambault.
I love the Archambault.
Archambault.
Yeah.
Kurt Keaton was pretty good as well. That was a pretty
Yeah, Kurt Keaton was awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great quarterback name.
Yeah, we had some other ones. Yeah, was it Kinney? Jason Kinney was the other quarterback. That was the big quarterback class we had. I won a championship with him. Jason Kinney.
Who was the quarterback the Niners had? It was like Madden 20. It was the guy that kept Emery. Emery's quarterback.
Emery's quarterback. Yeah, I do remember him. That's
He had a
name I've
sweet
heard in
name.
A long time. Oh my god, I haven't heard Emery in a long time.
Yeah, I had to pull it out of the back of my head because that took me a minute to think of him.
Who was his brother? Who was he in the league with? Who was?
I don't think he was with anybody.
I
He's
thought
the
he
one
had
that
a
kept
brother in the league.
getting really angry and leaving, and then he'd come back.
Yeah,
and
but I think he had a brother in the league. I'm most positive.
maybe he brought him in for a short time.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been for very long, true.
It was Mike MG were the other,
And then
group, and then,
pinstripes and
brother-in-law. Yeah, with Pirate at that
Yeah.
point. So
Yeah.
okay, so like I said, we'll work on the Hall of Fame. We'll get it going, but like I said, glad that we could do this and get some live reaction. Like I said, hopefully the rest of the draft goes smoothly.
yeah, we'll do another just full recap after everything's done. So this will just be like part 1, and then we'll do another part 2 at some point.
And if you're on later tonight with the reveal, I want to do a bit of a live discussion with people from the league. So we'll probably do something later tonight. Anyway,
I clock out at 8, so as long as it's
it'll be later. I would say like probably closer to 10, 11 for sure. So
awesome.
in the late evening. So
Perfect.
okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys. OG out.
Yep.